I believe journaling is a part of your growth plan. And growth is a multiplier. So if I find myself not in my journal for an extended period of time, I will stop myself, because we're always in a rush. I'm in a rush, you're in a rush, we're always in a rush. I'm not saying you should be dedicating days of your life just sitting there overlooking and trying to build a multi-million-dollar business. I don't think that's going to work. I do think, though, you got a couple times a week where you got 10 minutes, 15 minutes to dump into a journal, and I think it's going to be very valuable for you to do that. So I believe it has to be part of your plan. Here's the first reason why I journal. It's a place where I keep all creative thinking, personal, relational, emotional. Number two, this is a way to document the history of you. Right? Document the history of you. Well, why is that important? Because if I ever want context or a good laugh, I'll just open up 2010. Perfectly named the defining year, because December 2009 is 1 month from being out of business. The story I just told you guys earlier. This was probably somewhere between December 26th and December 31st, where I decided to call 2010 the defining year. Let's see what this says. Every year I have themes to describe how I want the year to look. Some have validity and accuracy as the year went on. Some did not. In 2010, I will have a defining year. My career, my leadership, my skills, my finances, my partnerships, and my relationship will all come to a head. How will I respond? How will I react? How will it all look? How does the story end? These are all questions I do not need to ask. I already know the answers. I know them because I see it clearly. I see it in its entirety. I live at cause. Just watch -me. So these are full of this shit. So I know it's like you read the problems and you just fucking laugh. You laugh at yourself, right? Like you need to document you. So 5 years from now, you can be like, what was the problem back then? Oh my God, that's hilarious, right? It's just, it's inspiring to go back and read this. 2007, the year of leadership. The most important thing I can do is not just work, it's lead. So it fucking clicked for me. It's like, stop just selling, stop just grinding, figure out how to shift, right? If you guys remember when we went through the 2 months on leadership, I told you I did about a 10-year study of leadership. 2007 would have been about year 5. So you can, just me reading that tells me, about halfway into this, it clicked like, all right, if I'm going to go big, I got to master leadership, not mastering just the work or mastering the conversation or mastering the objection or mastering the skill or mastering the customer. I got to master leadership. I can't wait to read some of this shit. John Wooden on leadership. Oh, this is interesting. February 27th, 2007. I've decided that I will become an expert in leadership. I'm so driven by this subject. There are few resources I know of to get my hands on. This is funny. That's 15 years ago. Currently, I'm reading Wooden on Leadership about John Wooden. What a disciplined man. I will begin collecting more data now. What resources have access? John C. Maxwell, Colin Powell. So I won't read this whole thing. This is really interesting because we just had a strategy session, say Wednesday? Yeah, yesterday with my personal brand team. And we all decided that my core differentiators is the topic of leadership. And there's still no one talking about it. And the gap is getting wider and wider. Why? Because the more thought leaders that pop up and the more influencers that pop up and the more speakers that pop up, the less leaders there are. Because none of them are dedicated to leadership, right? They're not speaking about leadership because they're not leading. So that just gave me goosebumps to see that 15 years ago, I was like, I'm going to become an expert on that topic.